Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Now today's video is going to be something a little bit different. It was actually brought to my attention a few videos back by a user, I believe called Uncle Pom Pom, I believe, if I'm not wrong. For some reason I can't find his comment anymore. But he did actually link me a few videos as well, which I did want to include, but for some reason when I'm searching them, they're just not coming up, so I actually can't include the links in the description. However, just check in there anyway, just in case I do manage to find them and pop them in for you. If the guy does actually, watch this video, just leave a comment if you can with the video links. That way it just makes them easier for me to just kind of grab them and yeah, kind of show you exactly what I mean. So basically, since update 1.26, there's been a widespread glitch within Gran Turismo 7, and I feel like it was kind of, put to the side because most people were, absolutely over the moon with 1.26, mainly because of, the ability to sell cars and all that kind of good stuff. It was a very kind of celebratory update, obviously the World Series, the kind of viewers campaign and such, that almost everything else kind of went forgotten about, and even I hadn't really heard about this until recently, and then within kind of a few days I've started seeing more and more comments. So this glitch is pretty much game breaking for a lot of people, and it seems to have been introduced with 1.26. So this glitch as well doesn't seem to discriminate between single player and multiplayer. It seems that once it's in your game, it is in your game and pretty much renders the game, well, unplayable. And it wasn't rectified in 1.27 either. In fact, it was completely ignored. Now, I don't know if there's been an update to the known issues just yet. At the time of recording, there hasn't been anything said on this. But essentially what this glitch does is cause really bad slowdown and then complete freezes. And I don't just mean a freeze in the sense of where your game completely freezes and your console will shut off and stuff. What I mean is it'll freeze for around about a few seconds. It seems mostly for anywhere from like 2 to 5 seconds, and then you will get going again. And like I said, this also happens in multiplayer. It's not just kind of something that's in the single player portion where you can kind of just press restart. It can happen in sport mode as well, where obviously if you think you're racing competitively and this happens and you happen to take someone out, or it completely destroys a race, that's going to be your driver ranking dropping. And for those that have this glitch and usually take sport mode very seriously, I can understand the absolute frustration, as if every time you jump in the game, this will pretty much just happen and you will just drop down your ranks. So yeah, very, very frustrating, very, very bizarre. So essentially, obviously you're racing normally, it's kind of stuttering, kind of slows down, stops, freezes, gets going again, and rinses and repeats over and over again. By the look of it, you can kind of get into, like halfway point of a race and then it'll start up again and again. And it just seems to be only affecting certain players. But once it does start affecting you, it seems almost like it just doesn't go away. I've heard a lot of people saying that, since they've had this glitch happen, it's just constant and won't stop. So very, very frustrating. Like I said, this was introduced in 1.26, which was, about a month ago now. Not even mentioned in 1.27, only just really being brought to light now. But I thought, I'm going to make a video on it. I even promised the guy myself that I'd do it, mainly because I want things like this to be fixed before anything else, because if there's less people unable to play the game, it's really just going to kind of turn a lot of people away, and then they're just probably never going to come back. Glitches like this can really, really ruin your experience. And then imagine if someone was suffering from this glitch when they'd only just bought the game, they're probably just going to get rid of it and never pick it back up again, which is just a bit of a shame really, because overall GT7 has took some promising, I guess, updates recently. It's added a whole bunch of decent cars, the ability to sell cars, features that should have really been there all along are finally coming in. And then for this to happen and absolutely destroy people's experiences for up to a month at this point, it's just a massive shame. Like, I really do feel for those guys. I could just not imagine if this was happening to me, because that's pretty much my channel dead in the water for a month, and I'd have to kind of focus on other things, when obviously Gran Turismo is like the main thing I do. So, you know, things like this really do need to be kind of, you know, patched out of the games and sorted. I just feel like I kind of said it with myself with 1.27. There was almost like it was just rushed, and they didn't really kind of, you know, quality test it and see kind of what might happen, any bugs that might be in. And again, if this is coming in 126, you know, and it's affecting a decent amount of players, I could just imagine the frustration that when the next update comes and you're sat there and it's still not sorted, so you still can't even, you know, experience what it's like to sell a car, or, you know, go and race in any of the new cars. It just feels like that's a long time for a glitch like this to hang around, and that's kind of the main thing, just to raise awareness. So like I said, I've not suffered it from, you know, a personal standpoint, but it does seem like, you know, especially the last couple of days, I'm getting quite a few comments relating to it. So I don't know if it's kind of just getting even worse over time and happening to more and more people. But that seems to be the case. Even when 1.26 dropped, I never heard a thing, which was, I feel like, you know, with how many comments and how much Gran Turismo really took off again in that month, was probably the reason why. There may have been comments that's kind of just gone under the radar. But yeah, very, very strange. I really can't get why, you know, Polyphony seem to do this nearly every update. You know, I don't want to be negative really, but it just seems like every update there is just a silly little glitch or a major glitch that just causes, you know, a whole heap of problems, whether it's kind of weather radars, or like recently with the latest update, the silly little thing of it not counting your win, or even counting that you've even done the event. Just, it's a little bit poor. You know, I'd hope for a bit more in terms of, you know, quality testing before an update goes live, because things happening like this really, you know, shouldn't. If you're going to treat it as a live service, you at least need to be, you know, back within a few days getting rid of glitches like this, instead of just letting them linger around until the next update, and then you might patch them or you might not. Again, I feel like that's where Polyphony really do fall short, and, you know, that's nothing against them. It's, you know, just, I get they're a smaller team, they're a smaller developer team, I guess, compared to, you know, the likes of what you have behind Forza and stuff. So they're going to be naturally a bit slower, because they don't necessarily have the manpower of these, you know, other racing games and stuff in the genre. But then again, it just feels like there's, you know, kind of no excuse. And, you know, for people that are having this problem, I can imagine it's very, very frustrating. In fact, I have the exact same thing that I, you know, have over on ACC, where I essentially have to play on PC all the time. You know, God forbid I want to kind of just sit down and relax and play just a normal game of ACC on console, you know, on the comfort of my own sofa or something, because I can't, because I've actually had a glitch since a good few months now, since the big patch came in, where I cannot even start a race up without my console erroring. So, you know, again, that's kind of around the same thing as here, but I mean, to be fair, that's been going on even longer, where again, I'm completely locked out of even, you know, using a game or even buying any of the new DLCs and stuff that have come recently, because I can't even, you know, get a game going on console. If I want to play ACC, I have to go over to my PC, and sometimes, you know, I want the comfort of just being sat on my sofa and doing a bit of sim racing, or, you know, sat in my rig, you know, next to my, you know, my proper TV instead of a monitor and stuff, which can just be, you know, really, really annoying and really, really frustrating. So I do understand where this is coming from, and it just seems like this is just getting more and more common, not just necessarily with Polyphony, but overall. I think it's really just kind of shows a state of gaming these days, is that developers are very quick to just kind of get big updates out there to get as much people back each month, but then if the quality testing is not there, you end up with a situation where games can end up fully broken for a bunch of people, and then that's people that are well within their right to just never come back to that game again, and I wouldn't blame them at that point. So there we go. I just wanted to kind of raise a bit of an issue that I've been being told about recently, as well as kind of just give my opinion on it, that it's just very, very poor, to be honest. And I feel like, again, it's something that's been kind of overshadowed by just how decent some of the recent cars have been, you know, the selling cars features, all that stuff within GT7, you know, kind of just means that things like this kind of go unnoticed, and hopefully Polyphony does pick up on this and does see it sooner rather than later, and we get some kind of update in the known issues or something, and people kind of, you know, get this problem resolved before, you know, it's too late and they never bother with GT7 again. So to the guys that are getting affected, like I promised, I would make a video on this, so here it is. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know, push this one out to Polyphony. Just let, you know, kind of make them aware, because again, like I said, it's not really fair that people put their own money into a game, and you know, things like this kind of shuts them out of a product they've, you know, paid the hard-earned money for, especially, you know, current times and stuff. So yeah, I'll see you later, guys. Take care. Peace.